Welcome to this crazy world of music. Let's kick off a wild celebration of laughter and melody. He launched into a hilarious laugh, as if he had an infinite reserve of giggles. He kept laughing, sounding like he just downed a whole bag of candy. As the music played, he yanked up the microphone like he was in a Who Can Sing Best contest and belted out tunes with wild abandon. The audience was utterly captivated by his effortless range. Even the nearby cat was wagging its tail in admiration. Uncle was lost in the music, as if he had been chosen by the stage, overflowing with talent, and 1 year later, the band's career finally hit the road, cruising in their vintage van, performing everywhere. Their old truck always breaks down. While others pondered fixes, Uncle thought of buying a new one. He decided, why not sell the bread truck and drop an album? Once they made a name, the cash would pour in like rain. So they did just that. They bet the bread truck in 3 months' pay and started recording their first album. And this was the starting point for their dreams, with Uncle strict standards for music, spot on like aristocracy, no room for error. If it didn't quite match the perfect sound in his head, it was back to square one. These youngsters were like mad scientists, trying out all sorts of quirky methods to create music. After recording, Uncle renamed the band Queen, and his girlfriend asked in confusion why he would choose that name. If gold can shine, then Uncle is like the glittery frosting on a candy, impossible to miss. On the significant day their parents met, Uncle unexpectedly received an invitation call from a well-known record company. They went for a meeting, but the first encounter was as tense as a soap opera. Filled with an explosive atmosphere, the agent straightforwardly asked, "What unique qualities do you possess that could attract us?" So, with the agent's push, they became Queen, but trouble soon followed. They made their debut on BBC Music Live show, only to discover a ridiculous lip-sync rule. Performances had to be lip-synced to recordings. Imagine that. If Uncle caved, had changed for good. So on live day, they dazzled on stage, their unique melodies instantly capturing the hearts of the young audience. Queen quickly became rising stars in the music scene, and just as their careers soared, Uncle proposed to his girlfriend. He hoped the ring would symbolize their eternal love, promising not to part even through storms. Mary immediately said yes, and the good news from the bandmates was the icing on the cake. Their album dazzled on the US charts, and the company even lined them up for a US tour like a fish in water. Wherever they went, they unleashed a youthful storm, gaining fame and fortune. After the national tour, the record label boss wanted them to replicate success by recreating hit singles, met with immediate resistance from everyone. At the peak, they wouldn't stop climbing just to mimic trends. They had to carve out their unique style. Uncle boldly decided to blend opera into their rock, a thrilling prospect ahead. Their next composition, Bohemian Rhapsody, was set to blend depth and passion perfectly. Drummer Roger confidently stated that their music would know no bounds. Bassist John emphasized that Queen was an entity that defied definition. The boss was initially hesitant, but ultimately caved to their demands and set up an undisturbed creative environment for them. Assistant Paul took them to a remote village away from city noise, where Uncle missed his girlfriend dearly, and inspiration flowed abundantly. A heartfelt piece titled My Love was born in tribute to his girlfriend. "You've utterly shattered my heart. Come back. All I truly desire is to see my love once more. Bring her back. I absolutely cannot afford to lose her. Definitely not. Because you truly have no idea just what it signifies." After the song, Paul was so touched that he instinctively got closer to Uncle. To his surprise, Uncle didn't refuse, as if realizing his orientation had shifted. Later, the band members fell into an arguing mode, each convinced their song was the best. They even started throwing punches, and Uncle, used to this chaos, went outside, finding inspiration. Back in the room, he swiftly composed his signature piece for his rock career in one sitting. "Goodbye, dear friends. I've got to leave you all behind and face the truth. Mom, I don't want to pass away. I desire to keep rocking on. Sometimes each one of us has to face the harsh deaths of life. Ultimately, through the persistent and joint efforts of these few individuals." They finished the remaining tracks. When they excitedly returned to the company with their album, the boss wore a frown, because the song was a whopping 6 minutes and it featured all sorts of bizarre elements. Radio usually doesn't play songs over 3 minutes long. The businessman aimed for max profit and wouldn't risk it for one song's artistry. So, the boss chose other tracks as album leads.